So today you find us in the 16th century pub, the Lowndes Arms in Whaddon in Buckinghamshire. Now this was once the courthouse. It became a pub in the 1850s. Now we've come here to investigate the ghost of the Grey Lady, but we don't know if the Grey Lady exists. We talked to Daniel, the landlord. He knows it's haunted by quite a number of ghosts, but he doesn't believe in the Grey Lady herself. But I will just have a quick chat with Lynn, because when Lynn came in here, she had a few feelings of her own. So Lynn, you came in here to the Whaddon Arms and you picked up on something when you first came in, didn't you? Now what was it?
When I came in, I was originally going to sit in the larger of the two bars, but something drew me to the small bar at the front. Don't quite know what it was, but I was drawn to that. When I sat down, however, and looked behind and to the side into the big bar, I noticed there was a big fireplace there, and I was very drawn to the right-hand side of the fireplace. I didn't see anything, but I felt that there was something there at the right-hand side of the fireplace.
Yeah, which is where the Grey Lady, and there is photographic evidence of her, is supposed to be seen. Daniel said to us that he thought it's just behind where you're sitting there with the green couches, where he sees a man who, when he first came here 8 years ago, was quite noisy. He used to, he didn't seem happy with them being there. He seems to have accepted them now. Did you get any sort of thoughts at all about the area behind you where?
I can only say that I was drawn, and it's a very small bar, but that I was drawn to this bar, to this area.
Okay, well we're going to go and sit over there later where the Grey Lady is sort of spotted, and that was the place where you got a feeling about something.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anything happens there, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
So here I am upstairs in the Lowndes Arms in Whaddon, where the landlord Daniel has kindly let me come for a walk round up here in this 16th century old pub, and he's let me come up here on my own. So it was a bit too steep for Lynn on the stairs, so here I am doing a walk round. Let me just show you where we are. But yeah, so let's try. Shall we try something while I'm up here? Okay. If anybody is here who would like to communicate with me in any way, could you give me a sign, either tapping or maybe touching me or making a noise of some kind? As I say, never look a gift horse in the mouth. It is a little bit spooky up here, but now I've had a good look round, I'm going to go downstairs and investigate where the Grey Lady and the man that Daniel says haunts this pub. I've got to find my way down this staircase first. That was fantastic. Well, hi everybody, and we are back from the Lowndes Arms in Whaddon, where we had a lovely time. Smashing day, smashing food, Storm was there. We had a really, really good time. Now, quite a few things to talk about the Lowndes Arms. One of the things being Daniel, the landlord, what a smashing guy.
Great.
As soon as he found out that we were there because of the ghosts, he couldn't tell us enough, could he?
No, he was fantastic.
And he, as you saw in the video, he allowed me on my own to go wandering around upstairs where there are a lot of sounds of furniture being dragged and things being moved. Now, some of the parts on the video were a little bit hard to hear because of the noise in the pub. So anyway, Lynn, quite a few things happened to you in that pub, didn't they?
Yeah, that certainly did. And I could feel there was definitely something there in that pub. When we walked in, obviously we hadn't been there before. We didn't know what the layout was like.
No, I mean, I knew what the story of the ghost was, the main ghost, but I never tell you, do I?
No.
Because we have to see for ourselves how Lynn will react.
Yeah.
And if I told her about the ghost, she might react in a different way. So as we walked into the pub without Lynn knowing anything about what normally goes on there.
Yeah. And we walked in sort of through the main bar. I was going to find a seat by the window, but I was very drawn to go into the smaller bar that was to the left of the main bar. So I'd go in there and we sat down and I started to sort of just look around, and by the fireplace that was in the main bar that we just walked through, I don't know why it was the right hand side of the fireplace, but very drawn to the right hand side of the fireplace, couldn't stop looking at it. Didn't actually see anything, but I felt there was something there. I knew nothing about Ghost of the Grey Lady or anything like that. I just knew that there was something by that fireplace.
Yeah, and as you've seen, there is a ghost supposedly by the side of the fireplace, and there is the photo that is supposed to be the Grey Lady. So Lynn picked up on something there that she'd never been told about. And then a bit later on, after we'd been talking to Daniel, and he told us about the old man who sits on the couch behind, then something else started to happen to you, didn't it?
It did, yes. I suddenly smelt a very strong, old-fashioned, perfumey type of smell. It was very distinctive. It was very strong. I was sort of sniffing about to see where it was coming from. I even sniffed the table in case it was something they'd cleaned the table with that was very perfumey, but it wasn't. It was coming and going in wafts every few seconds. So I wanted to ask Daniel about it. He was sitting with another gentleman by the fireplace, and I went over and said to them, have you ever smelt a very strong, old-fashioned perfume smell? The gentleman with him said, oh, it could be my aftershave I've just put on, but it wasn't that. He let me smell his aftershave. It definitely wasn't that. So I never did find out what that was. But he did tell me something very interesting. When I said, oh, I'd been very drawn to that right-hand side of the fireplace, which was actually where they were sitting, the gentleman said, he worked there, that it always happened in the winter after closing time, that the logs and wood that they piled up in a little seat that was on the right-hand side of the fireplace used to come tumbling down into the fireplace. And they believed, well, he believed that was the Grey Lady causing that. Yeah. Daniel himself didn't really believe in the Grey Lady, did he?
No. Daniel actually had never seen the Grey Lady.
No.
He was more drawn to the man who comes from the Green Couch.
Yeah.
Who, when they first moved there, I don't know how many years ago, was it 8 years ago?
8 years
something
ago,
like that.
Yeah.
He said was quite malevolent towards him and his family. Yeah. But they seem to have accepted, he seems to have accepted them now.
Yes.
And it seems to have calmed down. And also he did say something, didn't he, about a woman in 80s clothing that walks up and down the bar area.
Yeah.
And also I believe there was a ghost in one of the toilets as well, wasn't there?
Yes, in the latest toilets, which unfortunately I didn't go and visit.
No.
But I certainly will on our next trip.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's looking very hopeful that there may be some future ghost hunts in the Lowndes Arms. Yeah. The Lowndes Arms one. And so hopefully we will get to go on one of them, because it's a very, very interesting place.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go and visit again. It's a lovely pub.
Yeah.
The food was fantastic. The staff were great.
Yeah.
And it's very comfortable. They put a lot of stuff on. And Daniel, the landlord, was brilliant.
He was very informative, very friendly.
Can't wait to go back there again.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will be soon. So, yeah, it was a very interesting visit. So anyway, that's that. If you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you have, and if you're still here and stayed this long, then please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And hopefully we'll see you again on more of our adventures in the dark side of Buckinghamshire and beyond.
Yeah.
And with that, good night.
Good night.
Good night.